grind is here. The grind is real. Back every day. Welcome to the bigger plate where the rubber meets the road. I appreciate everybody that's been showing up. We've been on that top. We've been on this tube. We've been on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. We just hit 24,000 followers on Snapchat. We had 10.5 on YouTube. We hit 104, some on TikTok, 470. We working, we grinding every day. I appreciate you. It's the bigger play where the rubber meets the road, and we get straight to it. Okay? Why choose motherhood over marriage? We had a conversation, and these conversations go deep. Tap in every day at 5 and every day at 9:30. We showing up. No games, every day. New talk show, takeover, bigger play. I would think, like I said, I don't like to be biased, but I do give a preface of my perspective on it based on facts, data, statistics, experience, talking to people, doing surveys, things of that nature. Unconditional love. You know, this is why so many people may choose it. I don't want to attack the trauma of it all or, you know, the disposition of where people emotionally stable or unstable at. You know, unconditional love, a child comes out that womb and just free, no bias. You know, marriage comes with conditions. The thing is, you know, family first. And to incorporate that child in the family is an amazing thing. To be a single mom or a single dad or a single parent on your own, that's much more strenuous, much more difficult. You know, a lot of people feel they don't need that ring to know what love really means in an unconditional way. You know what I'm saying? So if you married, you trust in yourself in that union to show up every day for the family and that child. And the same thing could be said about other people who choosing to have those unions. So that's my take on it. We went deep. You'll hear my perspective a little more over there when we had that conversation amongst each other, you know. And some people don't want to be codependent. A lot of people do want to be codependent. Other people want to be have their self-ownership and their self-dependency. Something to think about, you know. Is it important to choose that marriage before you create that child? You would think it is. A lot of people would think it is, but you'll be surprised how many people think it's not. Well, can't say people, I have to say women, because women are ultimately those who have control over life, bringing that child in this world or not allowing that child to see the light of day. It's just a reality. So without no further ado, make it make sense.
If every time he brings up an issue with you, you flip it on him, you deflect, you make it about him, you're running out of time with that man.
Woo, is that true? You deflecting. And instead of hearing your man out, is that a form of narcissism? I'm just, you know, I'm just asking the question. Is that a true form of someone being in a narcissistic state? And a lot of times we do the make it make sense, and then we do the she said it, I didn't. However, because we have so much content and we moving fast and we want to get into the core of the conversation, she said it, I didn't. Yes, she did. Why choose motherhood over marriage? You ready? All right. Hey.
And you're like, the prompt is like, why choose motherhood over marriage? I wouldn't know. Like, I don't understand why somebody would have a child out of wedlock. Me personally, like, I understand that sometimes circumstances get to you and stuff. Some things just happen. And like, you don't have a choice but to have that child sometimes. But me personally, I wouldn't be a mother without the security of marriage.
So you not a mom yet?
No, sir. I'm engaged to my fiance.
Congratulations. How old are you?
I'm 20.
How old's your fiance?
21.
Did you guys choose each other on your own, or did you have some help with that?
We chose each other. We've been dating since 17 and 18, respectfully.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. I'm proud of you, young lady.
Thank you.
I think that that's an amazing thing. Where did you get that from as far as having a certain level of respect for yourself in order to
It's because like
facilitate?
I seen the struggles that my mother and my grandmother and stuff and the people around me, my aunt went through as being a single mother, especially when my cousin's dad, my grandfather weren't helping with the children. And it I know some of it wasn't their choice because at the time they had been in long lasting relationships with these men without like marriage when they had the children with the men, and then suddenly after the child came, even like they don't want the child no more, they go out and cheat. Sometime they went out and cheated for like my father and my grandfather. And like I just wanted the security to have a child in wedlock, so it would be a lot more difficult for the man to separate himself from me. Hope my man doesn't wouldn't cheat on me, by the way, but it would be a lot more difficult for him to separate himself from me after we have a child if we're married.
So have you guys, when did you decide to get involved with each other as far as getting married before procreating? How
I
long did
always told
that
him, I told him up front that I'm a wait till marriage type person. So I told him up front. And then I told him that I definitely am waiting till after I finish my education in order to have children because I want to be into my career by the time we choose to have children.
is he with it? Do you feel pressure from him? Do he feel pressure from you? Are you guys doing good right now? How long you been engaged?
We've been engaged for a year, and like I said, we've been dating since I was 18, and he was not since I was 18, since I was 17, and he was 18, and so basically he has a full time job, and he's a welder. He has a full time job, and I am a student. I'm a full time student with a part time job, and basically like we don't pressure each other. We don't do any of that. If we feel like there's an issue within our relationship, we try to talk it out. We tend sometimes emotions get the better of you, mainly my emotions, because he doesn't express himself through yelling and stuff like I do. So I have to work on that. Um we try to express our and communicate our emotions even when we're busy and stuff. We always try to let the other person know I'm busy if they call or text us and stuff like that.
What about counseling and things like that? Are you guys involved in any church? Are you guys involved in any type of sort of
Okay,
environment that
so
can help
both
you
of
guys?
us are Christian, but we don't go to church because a lot of the churches around us, we feel like they don't really communicate the word of God properly. So we choose to Bible study on our own and watch online sermons.
Do you believe in guidance and certain type of leadership?
We do. And we have been looking for a church at the moment, but we haven't really found one that we feel like correctly portrays who God is and not like distorts his view. Like a couple of the churches we went to in the past just talked about how good he is, but they never tell you like why he's good and how do you earn his blessings and stuff like that.
Okay, you sound like a very knowledgeable and intelligent young lady, and I just want to commend you on that. What about each other's parents? Do you guys know each other, family and brothers and sisters and parents and things? You guys close, or how's that going?
Yes, I do know his parents and stuff, and he knows mine. We are from two different communities because I'm black and he is white.
Wow. So you
So
got
we did meet each other's parents. He did come from a different household than I did and stuff like that.
all right. So you that's a good thing. Hold on. I think we have a young lady, Nadege, on the stage, and Andrea K. It's a young lady here. I would like you guys, if you heard anything she said, I would like you guys to give your input as women. Jack Frost, what's up, brother? So if you ladies would like to speak to the young lady, we appreciate that. Either or Nadege or Andrea.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to join the live.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ari, I just want to let you know that I commend you for taking the steps towards your goals to have a sacred and divine engagement with your significant other. Um, to comment on the actual topic, though, why choose motherhood over marriage? I don't believe that I'm going to just speak out of my own opinion for myself, but I don't believe that the majority of women actually decide to do that. I just think as a part of a failed system, failed relationships, that's kind of what ends up happening. And I'm speaking as a divorced mother of 3 kids. It was never my intention personally to have children out of wedlock. I never chose to have children prior to getting married. My ultimate goal growing up was that I'll get my career, get my education, get my career established, find a significant other that's compatible with me, that has the same values and interests as I do, and then to eventually take that a step further and to be able to get in and to be able to get married and have children with that person, to start a family with that person. It was never my intention to just go out there and have a child and just say, oh, and be a single mother. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
So I mean,
So with that in
I like
mind, how's the young lady been able to facilitate this type of thought process with the parenting or with the upbringing she has? She just disclosed some of it. How is she able to choose that? And you guys are living in the same, we all living in the US, I'm assuming. So how is she able to choose that? And you thinking most women didn't want to choose that? Andrea, you there?
yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you sound like
Like
you're a
I
little busy.
mentioned,
You're a little busy.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I said you might have got a little busy. You sound like you're a little busy.
No, I do have my 10-month old here, but
Got you. I
he's
got you.
actually quiet for the
He
time.
he running he
But
running the
no,
house. I know how that go.
pretty much. No, but just to kind of reiterate what I was saying before, I don't believe it's the heart of a woman to just, and like I said, I'm generally speaking personally. I don't believe it was never my heart to have children before being married. You know, it was never my choice. Like I said, just through circumstances and through mishaps through life, failed relationships, failed upbringing. You know, there's um it doesn't necessarily become a choice. It just kind of happens,
Right, but
because
even though your heart in the
those
right place, right? If you're able to say like the young lady, this is just not what I'm. How do you get caught up in that situation without that ring or that marriage being there to facilitate the next step of yours?
not picking the best partners, not picking people that are compatible, not picking people who are mature, just
But is
not
that on them or is that on us? Like if I pick a young lady and I have enough discernment, or even if I don't, even if I just know that I don't want to just plant seeds out here everywhere, is it on me if I pick that young lady, or
it is a choice
do I take
on
that
both sides.
accountability off me and put it on them?
It is a choice. I mean, you do have a choice to choose who you decide to have children with. You mean you are the one who decides to be intimate with that person, and by that standard, yes, there is a choice on both parts.
Right, right. That's true. Now, Deej, you want to speak?
Yeah, so
How you doing, sister?
and
Okay, it's good to
hi, I'm
see you.
sorry. How you doing? I'm so
Nah, you
rude.
good. We
I'm
just
so
talking. I'm
sorry.
just, I'm living and learning.
No, I just I usually say hi. Hi everybody. Thank you, host for having me on.
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
like your
rude.
insight. You got good insight.
Host for having me on.
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
like your
rude.
insight. You got good insight. You about this life. You're not scared. I like people that not scared.
So I view this differently. Okay, so I'm gonna view it with a woman who's married, well, was married with 4 kids, and I chose my happiness instead of being married. I chose to have self-respect in order, instead of marriage. So I understand what the other two ladies were saying as far as being a single mother prior to marriage, right? But I'm seeing it from a different point of view. So I chose motherhood over marriage, um, because I wanted to be happy.
So you think so you put your happiness as as opposed to being in a certain type of environment for the children, you put that over that.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Because it wasn't good for the children.
Okay, so you
Having
saying that based on certain things you guys were going through, uh, you didn't want to proceed in marrying this certain individual.
correct,
Gotcha. I mean that makes sense.
correct.
So you don't think?
It wasn't help. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
It wasn't helpful for neither one of us, and more importantly for the children.
So let me ask you something. Why did you make the
Someone's
children
near your
cry?
house.
Huh?
I said someone's near your house. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. Did you make the decision to have the children prior to getting married, right? Or you got married first?
No, I had two. We had two prior to marriage.
Right. I'm saying so marriage wasn't important before the children. It wasn't important to you
It
before.
was. Oh no, at the time it was. Absolutely.
But over time you saying y'all developed this friction and you was like, no.
So let me just say this. I was married for 16 years. I was with him for over 20.
Oh, y'all, you could have made it. What you nah,
Nah,
see
baby.
like these, you just
Nah,
changed it up.
baby.
You that's a long
Uh-uh.
time to be locked in. You
Listen,
could
some no, when I promise you, I promise on everything I love. We tried. Okay, let me just say I tried. We
that's okay.
tried. It's just it wasn't. Our time was up,
It happens. Yeah, that's
and it's okay. Like for me, I rather let me just say this. Let me put this because I normally don't tell my business, but this is stuff that I don't care.
okay, it's okay.
Um, I my household, we weren't yelling and stuff
Gotcha.
like that. It was more so like two ships in the night. Like you could cut it with a knife. We were very cordial. It was more business talk, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't disrespectful, like in front of the kids, but it was just like when I came home, he left,
What you
and
think?
I was okay.
What you think happened?
Oh, it was a lot. It was a lot, which I
Okay.
won't talk about, but there was a
Right,
lot.
right.
There was,
Okay.
and it wasn't, let me just put this that everybody probably, it's not cheating. It was just a lot.
I got you. I know relationships go all over the place. So
Hmm.
what about the topic? Do you think women should choose motherhood over marriage?
So if you're talking about like a single, like, hey, I want children and I don't need a man, or if you're talking about that, I really can't
Either
speak.
way. Either way.
I can't speak for others. I don't know.
Yes, you can. You're a
Other
woman. We can speak. We can
But
speak for. You
but
can speak to
people
the
choose
community.
for so many different reasons. Like I know someone who literally, went to the sperm bank because she rather be a single mom than deal with a baby daddy.
Right. That's selfish. She got some things
You
going.
think that's selfish?
Yeah, it's very selfish. Uh, because so what happens
Talk
is
to me. Why is that?
society shows us. Well, we got. Hold on one second. Uh, Econ, Ali,
Ali,
and
Ali,
Ice.
yes, sir.
What's up, Ali? You can
What's
speak,
up?
and then the young person down at the bottom and at the top. I want to allow you guys to get in. Go ahead and speak to it.
So first, I'd like to say, man, I enjoy your content, man, and your videos, man, on
I
YouTube,
appreciate you,
on
brother. You know I'm gonna salute
IG.
you, man. Big
I, I,
salute
I
to you.
like I like your tactic, my brother, and
Thank you, man.
I'd love for you to come on our show on Thursdays. We got 300, 400 people watching on the super.
Okay,
It's called Ultimate Super
if
Pass.
you can, all you got to do is send me a link. I'll be there.
I got you.
Okay.
So the reason why women put certain. So first, let me clarify that there's a lot of amazing women who don't do some of the things that a lot of sisters are doing today. So I want to give respect and kudos to sisters that understand their purpose and in understanding when they choose marriage, they understand that the core of a man's purpose. Because what a lot of sisters don't understand is when they choose motherhood over marriage, they don't even realize how important and valuable they are. Because when you get into a marriage, you have partial control of that man because he adjusts himself to be the type of man that you want instead of still being out here in the wilderness, cutting everything up, having his way, having his certain peace. He picks responsibility and to serve a woman when he engages into a relationship. So a lot of sisters have no clue or value about a man. But the main reason why they pick motherhood over marriage is so they can control somebody because they're not even actually being good mothers. If they were good mothers, they'd make sure there was a father in their presence and they make sure all of them have coverage and protection and investments, especially if something happens to that man after his provisions. She gets his inheritance. She gets his reputation. She gets respect from the community. So it's alarming to me when sisters pick motherhood and single motherhood and perpetuate it to their sons and their daughters. And it creates a lot of broken identity kids and a lot of kids who have resentment for everybody instead of picking marriage that brings all of us together, man, woman, and child.
Okay, brother. Ice, you want to speak, or Jay after Ice, Jay Kitch, you can speak. Go ahead, Ice.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? What's happening, bro?
All right, all right.
Uh, and again, shouts out to you. You know how we did it when we was in Chicago a few weeks ago.
Appreciate
Uh,
y'all. You already
we,
know.
you know we had a
Oh, they
good time.
whoa, that's my man. I ain't know that was you. What's up, brother?
What's happening, man? What's
How you
happening, man?
doing?
I'm good,
This is
bro. I'm good.
this Ice. They got a content of podcast too. You guys should tap into them. And Ice, the other brother just spoke. We need to try to tap in with him, brother. Make sure you text me that Ali or inbox me that so I can see
Yes,
what
sir.
time we're going. I'm gonna work some in there. Even if I had
Yes,
to
sir.
go, I'm gonna get in there on you. Go ahead, Ice.
Yeah. So for those, we have a show called The Relationship Perspective. We're on YouTube, Relationship Perspective podcast. Uh, appreciate you. So I'm gonna say this, Nadij, if I hope I'm saying your name correctly, and any
No, Josh.
female, like I'm gonna say this, I'm not a woman. I don't know what women go through. Y'all mentality are totally different than from a man's. I am a son. I'm an ex-husband. I'm a husband. I'm a brother. Uh, I got 5 sisters. So I say this: a lot of times, women that choose motherhood over marriage also puts their sons in a place where they're husband and boyfriend or boyfriend. They don't see them as a son anymore once they reach a certain age. And when they reach that certain age, they're now seen as are seen as being in a relationship other than in instead of being the son. Um, I think when it comes to the motherhood over marriage, I believe a woman. I'm not going to say some women. A lot of women forget about their husband needs when they have a child. And we did an episode. Um, we did an episode asking who would you save if you're in a position where the child is about to die or your husband about to die. And a lot of people got on there and was like, I'm choosing my child, right? So because of the fact it's a hard situation, but we have to look at it as like we can always make more children, right? Even though it's going to be a hard situation for everybody, again, at the same time, but we have to see it as when it comes to motherhood over marriage, I believe a woman always takes a stance with the child because they know that child is going to always love them no matter what they do, no matter anything they go through. So they always going to choose that child because a husband can do anything. They can cheat. They can go. They can act up. They can do anything they do. And then, but that child is going to always be there no matter what.
Okay,
Can I
brother.
say something?
Go, yes, ma'am. You guys, you having dialect.
So I to Ice. So
Salute to
I
the
fully
camera, brother. Go ahead, go
so,
ahead. All right.
so I fully understand when you say, some women turn their son into the husband boyfriend, which is sick. I've seen it, right, which is sick. As far as the last part. um, I would choose my children over my ex-husband, and he vice versa, right? That's something that we were on the same platform about. But here's the thing that you have to understand. We There's a bond between a mother and a child, right? We literally have a whole human in our bodies that we connect to. So we don't only not only have one heart, there's two. Giving birth, we're taking that sacrifice. So we say, yes, we're gonna carry this child. We will sacrifice our own life, giving life. So for us to just say, yeah, I'll pick my husband over my child, and some women do, and I don't judge them. But for me, there's no way that I'm going to go, 40 weeks carrying another human being and then risking my own life, which when you give birth, you do, because there's a lot of, especially Black women, who lose their life while giving birth. And that's a choice we made, than to just say, I'll pick a man, my husband. For those that do, God bless them. Like, no judgment over here, but I'll speak for myself.
And Nadiz, I'm not like when I look at it as well, right? I see it in two folds because if either way you choose the person, if you choose your husband over your child or your child over your husband, there's going to always be some bitterness there from all aspects, right? For you all as women, yes, y'all carry that child. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times y'all build a connection from breastfeeding. So it's so many things that women do that 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 causes them to have such a close bond, especially especially boys and mothers, like mothers, and like when you're in your child's life, girls always gravitate to their father, and boys always gravitate to their mothers. You know what I'm saying? So the bond that y'all have is sacred. Can't put anything past it. But when you say, like, when you get into a marriage, your number one person is your spouse. You know what I'm saying? Your child comes second to your spouse. Like, and I'm not saying I'm not saying like fleshly side. I'm talking about on the spiritual side. Your child comes first. Your child comes second after your husband, because it's God, your husband, and then your children, and on the other
Yeah,
side, right?
that's
And
but
can I
for me,
can I
that's pertaining to covering, protection, covering, right? But I mean, I don't want to get into biblical because I don't really talk biblical, but that's
Yeah.
about covering,
can I
right?
address
But
what
go
I
ahead.
said? Add to ice, mothers destroy their sons. Not only
My
that,
God,
not only that, they don't teach them the
Jesus,
skills required to be a man, and then they'll tell them they just like they daddy. What's curious to me about
oh
what ice is
Lord.
talking about as well too, why do y'all raise y'all sons to get run over by women and to be the type of man that benefits a woman, instead of being just like the man that y'all keep going after is who's their daddy? I really
TJ,
don't
I'm trying
understand
to
that.
let you in, sister, but we having a when you
I
circle
mean,
like that, it's because too many
why
people
you,
trying to come. You gotta get out and then try to come back, and then I can let you back in because you circling. But I'm gonna let you in as soon as you come back, sister.
Good
TJ
question.
zero 1 0. I'll let you
Y'all
back.
don't teach y'all don't teach y'all sons what to look out for women. Y'all teach them how to love women, and then y'all teach y'all daughters not to need men and tell them they ain't no good. So you raise your sons to be a pushover and a runover,
Okay,
and then
see ya.
you emasculate them. But then you keep dating the type of man that his daddy was. So he saw who his daddy was. Why you teaching him to be a person to get run over instead of teaching him just like the man that got you?
sir, since you have the answers to everything, why don't you answer it yourself?
Oh, you like me to answer that?
I mean, you're
Okay, so
doing it,
because y'all because
you might
it's
as
the great,
well.
so I might as well. So it's just because what I said,
After I lead land, we're gonna let Jay Kitch, and then we're gonna allow TJ to come on in. Go ahead, brother.
Land real quick though.
y'all look, man, please don't speak to me like that. I didn't disrespect you like that. Don't rush me. Y'all like men y'all can control, and y'all like the men that benefit you and make you look good. That's why you support the GAY men and the TRAN men instead of supporting actual men. You love the fact that you can control your son, and you can't stand the fact that you can't control a man, even though you ask for a leader. But if y'all having problems in your relationship, why would you let a man inside you that you wouldn't listen to?
Checkmate.
Nah, I think. Go ahead, sister. I think he's trying to directly interact with you real fast. Not deep.
Oh, baby, I'm not gonna speak to somebody that's hurt that needs to be healed.
They
You could
can't
go to
answer
the
it.
next one.
She can't
Okay,
answer it.
okay. Come on, Jay Kids. Come on in, brother.
What's going on, everybody? Hope
All right.
everybody's having a blessed evening. So,
Afternoon, sir.
I'm going to speak from a perspective of speaking to a lot of young ladies when it comes to choosing a baby over marriage. They already come from broken homes. So, they're looking for unconditional love. They're looking for somebody that's going to love them regardless, like you said, of what they do in life, right? And I don't think it comes from an immature perspective, because if they were mature enough to understand what they were getting themselves into, I'm pretty sure they would choose marriage over motherhood first. But they're looking for love. They're looking for something that they weren't receiving growing up or getting at home. And they know a man will walk away from them, like you said, and their child is going to be there, whether it's a daughter or it's a son. They just want that unconditional love. It starts to change when they start to mature and get older and they see life a little bit different. Then the mind changes. But the young mind is not telling them all of this. The young mind isn't telling them to get married, have a family. The young mind is telling them that they're looking for unconditional love, and that's what they want.
So why they end up kicking them out the house for the stepdaddy or the boyfriend?
Because they don't know. They're still maturing themselves.
No, no,
They don't,
you
they're
said they
already
want.
coming from broken homes. So they don't know what a
So,
healthy
so
relationship looks like already.
then you said they want unconditional love, which means you'd have to
Yes.
reciprocate. And
But
so
they
if you're
looking at it
if
from
you're
their children. They're not looking from it from a man, for a man. They're looking at for from their children because they know they're not going to get that
but
unconditional love
but
from
they
the
don't
man the
spend.
way that they want it.
So I was in mental health for 15 years. They don't spend time with their kids. They neglect their kids. They put their kids on tablet. They barely even know what's going on with their children, and children end up in mental health institutions. All the kids that's having
Okay,
issues, the
I
the
get that.
70% of the kids that's having issues, family, they're going to these mental health institutions. The boy and the girl is being neglected. Their mother isn't spending time with them like that and quality time with them. So
Well,
all
I'm
of the
going off the
people,
prompt. I'm not
no,
going off of the mental health aspect and
no,
how
you
they
said
treat their
unconditional love.
children and
I'm
all
just
of that. I'm
I'm
going
just
off of what
responding
was
to what you
told
said.
to me from me asking young ladies, why would you choose to have a
Mm.
baby over marriage? And their answer is they wanted unconditional love. Straight up
Okay.
is I'm
So
not asking them
right,
into all the other
right,
things
right.
that
But
you're
we know
diving
that's not
deep
true.
into.
Right. So, but we know that's not true.
Well, we
That's
don't
all I'm
know that's
saying.
not true for them. I can't discount them and say that's a lie for them. Who
So
am I
most of
to
them.
say that they're lying? I don't
So
know
most
them
of.
on that personal level. That's
Well,
not
how
my
you speak?
story. I'm with my
So,
wife.
so how you speaking on it then if you don't know it?
I'm giving you the answers that I've gotten from asking that question.
So, brother,
Okay.
you
So
think women are having kids to get
This is.
unconditional love? That's what you
Not
Oh
saying?
all,
man,
not all. And I said from a
Like,
young
what is
woman's
going on?
perspective that is coming from a
crazy.
broken home that is looking for love, that never received love at home because she's
Uh,
coming from a broken home already. So it's a cycle. You keep creating broken homes
no,
until
but I'm asking
somebody
you.
breaks the cycle.
But I'm asking you, are the kids and men getting or daughters getting love from these women? These women that we talking about,
I mean,
majority
I
being
know
female.
my daughter gets love every day. My son gets
We
love
not
every day from my wife.
that
Well, I
Not
can't
you
tell
being
you,
you I'm
brother.
not with
disingenuous.
Not
one of
you.
these love women.
You're being disingenuous, family. We're not talking about your wife. We talking
The,
about the prompt, the type
the
of women who
prompt
choose
doesn't
to.
say nothing about
Okay.
the raising the children. It just says where are the fathers, right? Marriage
hold
over
on,
motherhood
hold,
over
hold,
marriage.
hold on, brothers. I like the back and forth, but we want to try to let the other people speak. Mr. G, Mr. J, TJ want to speak, and then we're gonna let Shock. Then we can go back to you, brothers. Go ahead, sir.
You can skip me. I'm still listening to the topic. I'm
Got
trying to,
you.
I'm just getting here trying to figure out what's
You
going
got you.
on.
I got you.
I
Okay.
answer the prompt.
Go ahead. Who is that? I ain't see
King,
you.
king, king.
Go ahead,
I
King.
choose. Why
You
choose?
haven't spoke, brother. Go ahead and speak.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
bad.
yeah. I ain't speak. It's all good. What's up, play? What's up, Ali? Much
All
love,
right, all
brothers.
right, all right.
I believe they choose that because it's a less duty. Like women want to be able to do what they want, when they want, how they want. So if you just have a baby out of wedlock and you just have babies, nobody is looking at you to perform good. But then when you get in a marriage and a man actually locks you down, he's gonna be expecting things from you, the same as a woman expect from him. So it's easy for a woman to just have a baby and do what she want to do. But when you really get with that man that you want, that you pick, because women pick men too, now you have to do the work. And most women would rather try to change a man instead of trying to change themselves. I'll touch down right there.
Okay, all right. The young man down at the bottom, you want to speak, young man? Or you still trying to listen too? Yes, sir. I couldn't see your name. I got this thing jump. Wow, Shop. What's up, Shop? I
What's
think
up, big dog?
you were with us before, man.
All right, family.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. There's a chime in on the of the prompt and everything else. Them choosing motherhood over marriage and everything else. Man, it's a real big disconnect when it comes down to like them really not really getting that type of love in their own household, man. Being neglected. That's a big deal. Even though that mama could be present and everything else, but the real question is like, was the dad was really actually present? Hands on, really talking about really actually being there for like the games and events and everything else, and like really she being able to be trustworthy towards her folks that she could actually talk to them, even though that she's gonna be judgmented, even though she's gonna be criticized and everything else. Because you're gonna get the good with the bad also. You're gonna get the bad with the good too. There's a balance between that. It ain't gonna always be butterflies and rainbows and all that other type of shit. It ain't gonna go down like that. You understand what I'm saying? There's gonna be some form of that, some formality of type of discipline too. So when they come down to this part, when they come down to this actual situation that you're gonna have to deal with between when you're choosing motherhood over marriage, how can you really actually say that you know that your condition, your mind are ready to be able to be actually be able to come up with that type of specific type of situation? How do you know that you can actually undertake those type of that type of pressure? You got women that are sitting up here being in motherhood at a young age, kids raising kids and everything else. And that's where the dysfunction comes from. Because of the fact that you got somebody that doesn't even have no idea, not even like an actual subtle point to the direct to actually say that they actually started out at a specific type of age. You hear ages that are so abnormal to know that if this girl was 16, 15 years old, 17 years old with her first child, but you didn't hear that she was prepared for motherlyhood. She was never prepared that, oh, if she was gonna go out there and have, do her thing or whatever, has the parents set the actual child, the daughter up to say, all right, here's a bassinet, here's some formula, here's some, some tools to get you started up if that were to happen. These conversations will never be brought up in nobody's household. If it was, preparation would be key. You can always prepare for that. Everybody keep talking about, oh, that it was a mistake or I was at this age, but were you prepared for that? Nobody was not never prepared. You can always be prepared. Prevention is key, but guess what? Were you prepared for it? There's always subtle points to that certain situation too. It's like you going for preparing yourself for a football game or a basketball game. You're already prepared. So when the championship, when your team, you took your team to the actual championship, you already undertake that type of pressure. So when they hand you the ball and it's like 5 seconds on the scoreboard and everything else, you already know you're gonna hit that last 3-pointer. You go home with gold because you undertook the type of pressure that came along with what was going on at that certain time. You was prepared for it. But these are type of conversations that will never be discussed. You could share the same topic with the first 30 people, maybe even 10, let's say 10. I guarantee you they said that, oh, I was never prepared for it. Why? Because your mother, your grandfather, or your grandmother was never taught you that from condition. They do realize that you are a young woman growing up in this world. You can have kids. Science is never always 100% be like, oh, well, here it is that, my child used protection and everything else. So what? They so quick to want to run and go sit up here and put the man under child support because they want that type of freaking support. But who to say that you can actually try to bring forth that young man and that young woman to formulate this conversation, to really formulate this new family, this new foundation? Don't sit up here and brainwash either one. You know you need that man. Don't sit up here and try to pretend and try to act like you don't need that man. Because your new founding baby father is the child support office, the WIC office. This is why we got this disconnect now. But they claim that they know every friggin' thing. They don't know shit. But you 13, 14 years old, having this child, but you having this child by this young man. And this young man he needed a foot in his ass too, because you had no business doing that shit anyway. But you claim you can't have kids at this specific age. That's BS. Yes, you can. So these type of things can be prevented. But it always goes towards the fact that it's going to be the standard point. The finger's going to be towards the woman because of the fact that she has two choices where she can keep it or she can sit up here and actually, you know what I mean? But yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like, yo, don't even try to sit up here and put the full blame on that man. You particularly make and actually create life, but you can sit up here and pick and choose your mate. There's a lot of men that are actually that have the credentials. They are prepared. They got it ready, set, and go. But you got men that are half stepping and don't have nothing at all. Y'all choosing men, y'all choosing piece of shit men and try to claim that they're so highly qualified. They're not qualified. They're not qualified. But you turn around, you harass this man, trying to act like and you want to force this man to be a father. You can't do that. That's like that's like you trying to force a boy to be a man. You can't do that. That would never happen. You're gonna always get pushback, resistance. So you need to go ahead and pick forth somebody that's proper and that's ready for war. Because you're not in this battle by yourself. You're gonna lose. And I land my plane.
Okay, brother. Miss Christina, you the one. This is on you, young lady. Come on. Where you at? You there?
You did.
You started it. What
I
you think?
did.
What you
I
think
did.
about the,
I'm always starting something, ain't it?
what you think about that topic though, sister?
So I feel like this here. Um, we do have a choice in who we allow to come into our womb.
No, somebody. I don't know what happened. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said we do have a choice. Women do have a choice on who we decide to come into our womb. And I do think that, well, I know that men will, if you don't make him put on something, he's not going to do it. But we can control birth. We control birth. So I know our culture does not put like marriage and all that stuff on the forefront. And I don't know why, but they don't. They'll celebrate baby showers more than they'll celebrate marriages. And I see it a lot. The father isn't there. Father's family isn't there. It's just us, single, no fathers, baby showers, these dressed up like weddings and nothing else. And that's it. Bunch of kids just broken all over the place. And I do know that we can change that by doing better. We can. But I'm seeing a lot of it, and it's like they're promoting it more in our culture than the other. I'm not saying no other culture has it. I'm not saying that. But our cultures are promoting that. They're celebrating single motherhood. And it does not look good. I'm gonna back away from that.
Okay.
Can I say
I see
something
you on the speaker
regarding?
came off. Mike, go
Yeah,
ahead, sister.
yeah. So what Christina said and what Shock said, which I understand, but then he started going left, right? I agree with him. So let me just say, just like what Christina just said, um, we do celebrate the showers and stuff like that, right? And it's just, but I can also say, and people have seen, a lot of people, first let me go back with, I'm sorry, Brock. We are not, well, young women are not, some are not raised to be wives, right? So what they see is what they want to repeat, unfortunately. I'm not making any excuses. I'm just saying, right? So a lot of women are not raised to be wives. There's a lot of women that shouldn't be mothers. There's a lot of women that shouldn't be wives. Going with Christina, yes, we celebrate the baby showers and sometimes the fathers are not there. But in the same token, we also, a lot of people just want a wedding, are not prepared for a marriage. They prepare for a wedding, but they're not prepared for a marriage. They know the style, the color, the location. They know the food. They know everything before even being asked for a hand in marriage, right? But they don't focus so much
I
on the
like
marriage. So yeah, like the baby, same thing as getting married, um, and it's not gonna last.
Thank you for that. Because you're right. I just feel like maybe I don't know, it's like we're missing something. Our girls are
Connection,
not, it's something we're missing.
connection and love.
We, that's right. And it's like every other race can get it right, or
hmm
close to getting it right. And we can't get it right. We can't figure out anything.
I'm gonna say this.
We're up here debating on like these pop the balloon challenges and stuff like that. These other races
hmm
ain't doing that. We look stupid.
hmm
We look
hmm
stupid. We look stupid. By the
A
time
thousand.
they other races and stuff, by the time they get out of college, they're already engaged, getting ready to get married. They got they got their careers going, they got their kids going. By the time they're 30, guess what? They already got wealth for the next generation behind them. And it's no excuses as to why we can't do that. It's just that we're not doing it.
I'm gonna say this for Nadija and Christina. I think what it is too is in our culture, we're taught to sweep everything on the rug. So all the trauma that we go through in at young ages, where we feel like we need love or things, love needs us, so we start having sex at a young age, start being promiscuous at a young age. Once it really hits us in life, that like all that stuff that we went through, it's pretty much too late. We're in our 30s, early 30s, mid 30s, and then now we stuck in a situation where what do we do? How do we find love? How do we get connected with people that's really on that level? Or it becomes more so a business situation. I want to be with this person so we can be on this level. Or like generation nowadays is really big on just I need the money. You know what I'm saying? They don't it's all about the bag now instead of really finding out about who this person is, what this person can do. How can we build up each other? How can we love each other unconditionally? How can we raise a child together? Shock said it like Shock and King said like some amazing things, but I think one thing that we don't do, like Shock said, is we don't talk about how we need to really focus and how we need to really build up each other to learn from situations. I think I know, like for me, having kids, it was like I was married when I had my two children, but at the same time, after my children were born, we didn't we didn't talk enough and click with each other enough to understand, okay, we have to build with each other so we can build these children. You know what I'm saying? And once we figure out, and it's not saying that it's hard to do, but once we figure out how we can make these things happen in these households, and how, even though the parents may not be together, how co-parenting can really be really huge and loving on each other, whether everybody's in different relationships. Co-parenting can work as long as everybody is on a page and mature enough to actually say, yo, these children need to grow up. They didn't ask to be here, they didn't know about being here. We brought them here, so let's make sure they are raised to a way so they don't make the same mistakes that we did.
Well, that's hot as hell. Get that out of there. Ain't no cold.
I want to kind of point out something
Totally
real quick.
agree.
Put it up there.
Um, it's always about from what I hear, it's more the less about compatibility. It's more or less about connection, and comfortability. When I name out those three things, that'd be a lot of problems. Like that'd be a lot of issues with relationships and marriages that don't never last. When a person gets complacent, where they feel like their position is secure and it's not gonna ever be actually um, infiltrated. The human mind is so disconnected from what's happening right now because that a person's mind can really actually do a lot of magnificent things and also some very destructive things too. Curiosity is something that a lot of people really don't take in context. When you make that promise, it's a promise. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you're in a bond, whether you're in a friendship, whether you're in a relationship or a marriage, it's a promise. Some people don't really even take that into context to know that it's a commitment. You dedicating the fact of, if you give this person your word, you stand on it. If you told me that you're not going to leave, stand on that. I don't care how much of an argument we go through, how much of a disconnect, how much we don't communicate, how much we don't even take upon ourselves to actually be compatible. If I make sure that you're straight, I want you to do the same thing for me. But this be the issues with a lot of people that fail to realize that, because a lot of people still deal with the fact of that they want to still think like they're dating back in high school all over again. Selfish behavior. See, a lot of people don't take this into content where, like I said about the mind. The mind is such a very constructive way. It can be a curse and it also can be an actual blessing. You're sitting up here, a lot of people may go through the notions of emotions, that if this person is dealing with self-doubt and doubt. Those are two different definitions. I don't want nobody getting confused with those specific two things, because I can speak of that because it's been 7 years of my divorce. When I took upon myself, when I did give my promise to my ex-wife at the time, I told her, I promise you, do not leave. Because at the same very token, that's what's going to actually make us stronger. She decided to leave. When she decided to leave, that was doubt. That was already the doubt. That doubt already that destroyed our marriage completely. You got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to this compatibility, nobody's not going to be compatible. Nobody's going to end up being in the straight arrow, the straight line and everything. There's going to be some pros and cons. There's going to be some strengths and some weaknesses. This is how y'all take upon yourself and actually make or break or fix each other to be as one. Nobody shouldn't be taking upon themselves to sit up here carrying that weight on somebody else. If I'm physically tired, I won't want you to be emotionally actually strengthen me, to be more, to know that if I'm going through something like specifically mentally, you should be there to try to physically actually try to bring me up to uplift me. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the fact that there's going to be always a discord. Nobody's going to be living in on that actual road of perfection. Nobody is. You can be married to a person, have kids with somebody and everything, but there's going to be some type of actual disconnect because of the fact that somebody must be probably actually emotionally or mentally tired or physically tired. But it always starts off with a conversation. Nobody talks to each other no more because they think that they assume. I can't read your mind. That's always imperfection. Trust me, it's always is. Nobody's perfected. That's why I say it's a difference between having the actual pros and cons of the situation, strengths and weaknesses and everything. You can make or break your relationship or your marriage. This person can be up 15, 20 years in their career and everything. It only takes one time, a subtle accident. Now the question is, are you gonna uphold your end of the bargain of the deal? That's a promise. It's a covenant between you two. But if you feel like you want to walk away and everything else, have that personal conversation with that individual. Because you already set in your mind already, that's already doubt that I can't stay here no more. Because you feel like you want to sit up here and you feel like, oh, well, you know what? He's not enough anymore. He can't help me no more. Then guess who ended up being selfish? You is. Who sit there and destroy the marriage? The man ain't leave. He had an accident. And then years on in, guess what ended up happening? He gets a full recovery. Now you want to sit up here and you want to try to come back. That man have all rights to sit up there and leave and not even try to fix anything with you. Don't try to bring up no history, because that's what a lot of people like to do. When they was doubtful of their relationship or marriage, guess what they turn around and do? You remember when we used to do this? They bring up history because they try to use that as a strength towards their end to try to make it seem like they were actually there from the beginning. You remember you brought up that actual business, you built up this and everything else. I was there for that, but you left. That's the point. What I'm remembering. That's what I remember. We gave each other a promise, and you broke that promise. So I'm gonna land it right there.
Jock, you cooking, man. Did the young lady up top speak? I'm sorry, I had left for a minute. Did the two
No,
young
not
ladies?
yet.
No, she didn't.
Okay, I want her to speak. Trey, you ready? And I think the other young lady was there. We want you guys to speak. If you're not ready yet, we can pass you up. Other than that, I want to give
So,
you an opportunity to speak.
how is everyone doing today? I'm gonna say this. I think that in terms of the prompt, why they choose motherhood over marriage, well, it's two reasons. One, they were just, you know, raised to have a man's child to be able to benefit off the government. That's one. And then two, they're looking for that void, like someone mentioned earlier. But then three, they're just stupid. So, or they trying to do that to keep the man. They don't know no better. So those are the reasons why. However, it's completely wrong, right? You want to be sure that you are somebody's wife or have some sort of commitment. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want to get married. Marriage is a piece of paper." If you don't want to get married legally, have some sort of bond or agreement with one another, right? I'm religious, so not everyone is religious, but I am. At the end of the day, you shouldn't be having no man's child without no ring, no commitment, something, right? Like, I don't understand why women do that. But like I said, a lot of the young girls in the Black BLK community, one, they're trying to fill a void, or they're being taught to use the government. I can't tell you how many people I have like family members, like blood relatives that have 5, 6 kids and get this much of EBT and this much of Section A and this much. I'm the only cousin in the family yet that's married. I've been with my husband since 18. I don't have any kids yet. I'm 26. I do everything the right way. And now they asking me, oh, when you gonna have kids? When you gonna have kids? When you gonna have kids? I mean, I wanted to be financially, mentally right before I brought a child in this world, right? That's what everybody should be doing. But these young girls, they don't do that. It's something. It's cool. They having these baby showers and these gender reveals, but you already robbed your child because you didn't do it the right way. You robbing your child out of what most children want: a 2-parent household, mother there, father there. You already robbed them. You had them out of wedlock. Like, I don't understand. In terms of marriage, most people get married for all the wrong reasons today. They just want the feel of marriage. Oh, I'm married, just to say that they're a wife. No, being a wife is sacrificial. You got to put your pride to the side to make sure that man in that house that's the leader is able to do what he has to do to provide and protect. It's not all about your feelings and your emotions. Nobody cares. Go cry me a river. I think a lot of women have are very comfortable with this. I'm the victim. You're not. You're not the victim. Okay. If men don't get to play victim, you don't either. We all are adults, have some emotional intelligence, and that's why they get themselves caught up in these situations where they're on their back, where they're already being completely dominated. Don't want to submit to a man, but you already did when you laid on your back. That's the biggest form of submission. So you're already being dominated in the bedroom. You get pregnant, and now you the victim, and he the one that's wrong, and he this, and he that. No, 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 no. We gotta start taking accountability as women. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And I think a lot of these women don't want to because of their time. The opposite of pride is shame. So when women have to take accountability and have to let that pride go, it comes with some sort of a bit of shame, and they don't want to feel that shame for the decisions that they make. That's why a lot of them rather just go to the doctor and say something's wrong, and that they're stressed out and get on all these anxiety meds. How are y'all so liberated and free, and y'all can't even be psychologically sober without any help? Y'all all on meds. Something is wrong with all of y'all. So at the end of the day, it's just like we as women have to learn something very important, and it's emotional intelligence. And then the world don't owe you nothing, especially that man you're with. Everything is earned. Even God's, if you don't believe in God, even God's grace and mercy is earned. You don't sin and keep doing the same sins over and over again and think God just gonna keep forgiving you. It's gonna come with some sort of karma along the road at the end of the day. So it's all about taking accountability and implementing change behavior. Women, there's the women that want to take accountability and say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and keep making the same mistakes. Just like the men, there's some simps out there to do the same thing. But it's all about emotional intelligence. And if you are doing wrong, take accountability and implementing change behavior. It's not being victim. I'm sorry, but I'm this way because I didn't have a dad. Most of the black BLK men don't have a dad either. But at the end of the day, the world don't give them an excuse. They don't. They don't give them an excuse. They get the door slammed in their face. They get told, "You are a man, figure it out." But women, they get handouts. They get shelters. They get this. They get that. Men don't get all of that. Y'all don't, like, I really don't think understand. I have a lot of men in my family, so I'm very passionate about black men. I have 14 uncles in total and 2 older brothers. Like, I have a lot of men in my family, and I see how hard it is for them being BLK in this country. And every time they step out a door, they fight at a completely different battle than we as women face. We get so much handouts and assistance and this and that. Men don't get that. It's men's mental health month. How many women are talking about that? Nobody. But y'all quick to down them though. Shout out to all the black men out here trying their best to figure it out. And I'll just land there.
Fire.
I had a
Fire.
question. I had a question
Hey,
for you,
I'm
Shirley.
about to drop real quick. I just want to say this real
Okay.
quick. Everybody, it's what's going on with you, play? How you feeling, brother?
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Blake, can you hear me?
Yeah, what time you gonna be free in the morning?
Oh, okay. Okay. What's up, family?
Did you hear me? What time
Hey,
you gonna
man,
be
just
free
hit me
in
whenever, bro. If you catch me, you already know. Yeah, just hit me. Just hit me whenever, bro.
the
Catch me.
you're in the matrix. Can you hear me? You hear me? Business. No, she in the matrix.
Man, can you hear me?
I hear you now. You was gone in the matrix for a minute.
Yeah, my bad, bro. Yeah, but I was just gonna say, well, catch me whatever, bro. If you don't, I'll get up with you on the rebound. But no, I was just gonna say real quick, if we get the likes up to like 15K up in here, man, y'all join the conversation. At 65 of us up in here, man. If you wanna tap in, go ahead and hit that guest button. I mean, definitely bring you up. I wanna hear what it is you think about the topic, discussion, and also write in the comment section. I see y'all doing that. We're gonna address those too. So just wanted to come up there and say that real quick. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, man.
So I had a question for Trelly, I think. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name.
That's my name. You
Uh,
said it correctly.
oh, okay. So what? So I don't like the gender thing, right? So I'm just gonna say for both. A lot, especially now. So today's young men and women, what do you do with the ones that have no shame? Because there's a lot now in this world that nobody has shame at all. Like, if anything, they're proud even of the foolishness. So how do you stop that?
So you're asking me how to stop someone having an "I don't give a" attitude?
Hmm. Like, literally, there's a
So
lot of them that
so
have no shame anymore, like you mentioned.
you wouldn't know if someone had that attitude if you weren't affiliating yourself with them. It's called not being around those types of people. See, one thing that other communities have like at the top of their list is that if you are not down with the cause and what you should be doing, you are not welcome here. We don't have that in our community. We still accept them. Oh, come on, open arms. It's okay, girl. It's okay, boy. No, if you're wrong, you're wrong. You got to go.
Mm.
And that's our problem. Our problem is we are not okay with saying no, I'm not dealing with this. Even if it's your son, if it's your child. There's one point where my mother had to like put belt to with my brother. Literally. Like, you gotta figure it out. You a grown man. We can't keep coddling our boys and then raising our girls to be hyper independent, like they're never gonna need a man, and then they grow up old and bitter. Why we have 45, 50-year-old women competing to date the same men as their daughters? It should not be that way. That mother should be married. So at the end of the day, when you ask me a question, how do we deal with people that don't give up? You stay around them, and you stay from around them. And then when you are around them, you hold them accountable. And if they got something to say about it, as long as you try to do what's right and teach them the right way. That's what it's about. We too worried about what other people think about themselves. Oh, I don't care, I don't care. No, we gotta call it out when we see it in our face and keep from around them. That's all we can do. We can't control nobody. Just like we can't control these women that are twerking online, popping, dressing scandalous in Walmart with their butt cheeks out. We can't control that. But what we can do is tell them, hey, ma'am, I think you should cover up. They got little babies around. You're disgracing your body. Like, you're too beautiful for that. That's all you can do.
It's a young lady, Ashley Jua. You want Mr. Thrup? Inspiration, you guys can speak, and Kareem, none of you guys have spoke. You guys can speak one by one.
All right. Man, I think
Real quick,
Terrell's
and I'm a pick.
I can't one by one. Go ahead, inspiring, and then Ashley and whoever want to come. Go ahead.
Okay.
Terrell, she did a. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong, but I think she did an amazing job at saying that we need to stop allowing the most loudest voice in the room to be the most ignorant. We can start holding them people accountable. Tell them to go sit in the corner. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big part of it. And in addition to that, we also need to start holding ourselves to a higher standard, because a lot of us don't. You know what I mean? We are just okay with the mediocrity or the BS that we allowed. People to perpetuate and keep going with the culture and in our communities and stuff. I think that's a big part of it. Like, bringing them people, reining them home. You know what I'm saying? Getting them on page or moving them up out. And to touch on that subject with the motherhood over marriage, I think that was something that was systematically put in place to make happen. With the emergence of family division, you have child support, you have welfare and all that stuff. You figure we didn't have access to that stuff, and we thrived until we got to a point where that did occur. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's contributing. Those are the two main factors. I'm gonna land my plane there.
Appreciate you, brother. Go ahead, Thrup and Ali.
Okay, I'm gonna say
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead, brother. Please, you can go.
Okay, I was just gonna say I believe that, like, all right, it starts at home from when we children. We not being taught that at home, and it starts with the basis of value in sex, value in our body. The way even like too short shorts. You have to have a certain morale with yourself and be taught the value of commitment, be taught the value of getting to know someone, and understanding that there is no perfect relationship. And that's the basis of commitment, to say that we know each other enough to say that we're gonna commit and go through life together. You know what I mean? And that's a lifelong commitment. You see what I mean? And it's a choice that, you know what I mean, that we have to be taught to make and understand that the only way it works is if we stay dedicated to make it work. You see what I mean? Because when you're going through things, it takes more than love to get you past it. It takes, understanding, sacrifice, compromise, all these other things that we're not being taught from children. You see what I mean? Like, and that's what we have to think about. I mean, I know for me, so I'm gonna speak for me and my environment. You know what I mean? Like the way I came up, the value of marriage wasn't drilled to me as a young man. Growing up without a father, I came from a broken home. So you know what I mean? It took me a while to understand the value of a full home and the value of installing these morals and values in my children. And thinking about the things, the outside influences that we allow our children, you know what I'm saying, to have access to. You see what I mean? To where as though they're able to make these type of decisions when they're not around us, because the institution of family has been broken down. So when you talk about love, commitment, and dedication, these are things that start at home. To where as though even systematically, with broken homes, we're still taught the value of love and commitment and making these type of decisions correctly, to where as though they work, because it can work if you're dedicated to making it work. You see what I mean? So, it starts off with premarital sex, starting in high school and things like that. I mean, I know a lot of people don't agree, but when you talk about that, that sex is for the purposes of to reproduce. So, so when you talk about, you're trying to reproduce, and you know what I mean, but you're not trying to. We just chilling or whatever, and then we not willing to, and then whatever. Then we feel obligated, and it's like all different types of things that we wasn't prepared for, and and a lot of times when you're not prepared for situations, you just go on and on the fly and you deal with it off emotion. So, you know what I mean? A lot of it comes from just making bad choices from the beginning and not being taught and not having the resources, around us to say that this is important. You know what I mean? So, and it is a standard between men and women, you know what I mean, to hold each other at a higher standard and show each other that we're worth it in these commitments, and that, that we don't have to wear ourselves thin and thinking about these type of things. Growing with somebody. I mean, it's a lot to deal with. You know what I mean? When you talk about being a man, you know what I'm saying? And for women, y'all got it hard too. Even for women being a woman, it's tough out here. So we have to start uplifting each other, you know what I'm saying, as, out of love and compassion, and not look at it like it's a job. It boils down to the type of music we listen to and everything. We normalize, you know what I'm saying, downing each other. We normalize hurting each other. We know, and this is normal for us. You know what I mean? And we normalize popping the coochie. We normalize these things. You know what I mean? And then we expect it not to have an effect on the way, we and our children develop. You have to really consider these things. When you ride around blasting your Tupac or your Trick Daddy or your Migos, and they like, and they saying what they saying, your kids back there listening. So they not hearing, I want to marry my wife. They saying I want to fuck this bitch. I mean, I want to, pop this jump off. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what they're being taught. So, they have to be, it's things that they dealing with coming up and they're conflicted with, that being as though they come from a lot of people come from broken homes. They don't really have people that they feel comfortable with talking to about it. So, I mean, I just feel like, we just need to, start normalizing, uplifting, and promoting this type of behavior amongst us, what I'm saying, regularly, as opposed to negative things and glorifying negative things, and let our actions moving forward, set the trend for what we're doing, because this is what's happening. The kids we raising right now today is going to say what if they value marriage or not. So now it's on us to start with our children right now, regardless of what age they are, to start letting them know the importance of these things and making these decisions, whether it be, whether it be my son playing with a basketball team, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. When you make this commitment, you got to see it all the way through. You know what I mean? Because and the young lady who went before me, she hit on a lot of good points, and I agree with most of what she said. You know what I mean? But like she said, we all have to have a stand in ourselves. You know what I'm saying, to be able to uplift each other like that. And I heard, I just wanted to drop my little 2 cents.
It's respectful, brother. Go ahead, Kareem, and then you will let the young lady that didn't speak. Go ahead, Kareem.
Everybody, all the kings and queens of the earth. Appreciate you, brother. for blessing me to come on again. And I just want to say before I get started, can everybody smash up the likes? The brother is working hard. He blessed us with a beautiful platform where everybody can come and get their thoughts off. He know how to regulate it and facilitate it with grace, humility. I'm learning from the brother. I like his style. He always looking good. Brother, I just want to
Thank
thank
you,
you for
man.
the energy that you present on your show. I really
Okay.
want to say that first before I even get started. So thank
Thank you,
you.
brother. Thank you, man.
And now I also want to shout out to Sister. I don't know if I want to butcher the name up. Is it Trelly?
Yes, it's Shirley.
Sister, you are. You know what you remind me? Your spirit remind me of Sister Soldier. You remember her?
She probably
I
too
don't know if you
young.
remember Sister
She probably too
Soldier.
young to remember.
No, I'm only 26, so
Yes, he probably know. Okay, well look, I'm gonna
You don't
give
know
you an
who you talking
assignment.
about?
Go look up Sister. Hold on, I'm gonna give you an assignment. Go look up Sister Soldier after this show, right? Or while you doing it, and you gonna understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. But that's the spirit that I get from you, sister. This sister is a beautiful sister, because whether you know it or not, you was talking about me. I'm that guy that beat the odds. I don't even supposed to be here right now. So I don't know a lot. I don't know everything, but I do know a lot about a lot. And I'm just going to share you my experiences. And sister, you set the platform for a brother. Show you how God works. See, nothing happens by coincidence, right? Because when you plugged in to the socket, you getting all the energy. And you know when the energy is right and positive, because everything that's been said from each and every person, everything means everything that's going on means something. And when what you say is in alignment with your actions, that's how you can trust it. Because respect is given, trust is earned. I give respect to get respect. But I'm not just gonna give you your trust like that until I vet you. So when people use certain words, elegant and bring and perfusiate energies, and I don't care if you're on a platform or if you're in a person's presence, that tells me a lot. But that also tells me about the person who facilitated. So that's why I always get shout out to the bigger player, because we have to recognize I've been on a lot of platforms and it ain't never been this graceful where we can all talk and say our thoughts and be respectful naturally to one another. So moving forward, right now, I'm in a real live situation that the sister Trelly was talking about. See, what had happened was I got a baby mama. I was young. I got three older daughters from it. They wasn't really raised with me. She got bitter, took my children because I was living in Phoenix. I'm originally from Detroit. She ran to California. They was raised out of me, so they don't know what a man is. They don't have no upbringing, no. They don't have none of my. They got my DNA. They look just like me. They beautiful women, but they don't have my software. So all the what type of women y'all talking about, I have to say this, but I gotta speak true. You talking about my daughter, some of them. One of them is really just getting up out of that. She started to get her stuff together because she had a baby out of wedlock, and I told her everything that the sister Trelly and all y'all brothers and sisters are saying right now. And now she had recently had a conversation with me, and when we did FaceTime, I can look in her eyes and tell her she kind of like scared because it's just now hitting her like she really got a baby now. Then just speeding you up to what my situation is so you can kind of understand the point I'm getting ready to make. Now I have a divorced wife. She gave me 4 children. Okay, the whole situation is toxic because I got into the marriage real toxic. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I actually committed a adultery, and I paid. I paid for what I did. I paid for that sin. I'm not gonna say my children that I had with her was a mistake because I love my children. But I did a lot. I made a lot of mistakes, and I have a lot of records in my past for bonehead mistakes that I have done in my lifetime because I wasn't taught better. Because I came and come from a toxic, dysfunction family that have curses that a lot of us dealing with that have not been broken. It's kind of like that movie I just got through watching, Destination, Final Destination Bloodline. Y'all need to watch that movie. There's a lot of subliminal messages in that movie. It's a rule you need to watch it. How part it was all over a penny, man. That's all I'm gonna say if you ain't seen the movie. Something small that we overlook really can be big. It's just how you look at it. But the smaller things are really like big things. The devil is always in the details, is what I'm saying. And so now, because my toxicity of being a bad husband, because I was growing up, didn't know no better, I'm not trying to absolve my sins and nothing like that. I'm just saying I'm taking responsibility for my F ups. I take 70% of all those situations in terms of me having children with them women. I'm not going to talk down on them. I'm not about to point the finger. I'm just giving y'all my accountability of where my background, my origin story real quick so you can understand my mindset, because I'm real quick to be judged because my mouth, my passion kind of sound like I'm trying to holler at people and I'm not. I'm just so excited that God pulled me up on the mud. Man, when God put hands on you, you just get the Holy Ghost anywhere. It don't matter where you at. But back on what I'm saying. So now that I got the divorce right, after being so down in the mud, prayed to God, crying, snot coming out my nose on the knees and everything. God, please turn my life, give me a new soul. I just want another chance. I'll turn away and reconcile and turn away from my wicked ways. Just please give me the chance. Out of all the millions of chances he done gave me, I'm still asking for another chance. As soon as I get the divorce decree right, boom. That's when the COVID was just barely hitting. My kids, all the time, she got me walking on eggshells because I told her, whatever you do, please just don't take my children away from me. You know, I suffered that trauma with my last baby mama. She took my 3 daughters. All I ask you, if me and you can draw up a divorce decree where it's as long as you don't have to make me pay child support in the system, and I can do it with me and you without them in our business, then hey, you can have the kids. I'm not trying to take my children away. I don't want her to be traumatized. I understand women, attached to that. I understand, especially if I messed up. So I'm not about to play that game with you. But just don't take my children and leave a bad legacy and take them from me, because you're not just hurting me, you're hurting them. It may only take one individual as the parent to maintain a child, but it takes 2 to raise one. Let me say that again. You don't need 2 to maintain one. Well, now you probably do because it's 2025 with the time. Eggs is $8. I don't know what y'all talking about. You might need it. But my point I'm trying to make is, even if you're good, you can handle it, right? You still need 2 people to raise one, because the child needs the dynamic life and perspective from the male and the female in order to be whole. If you don't give them that, you're cheating the child. That's why people saying, don't you think they deserve it? Yes, they deserve it. Just because you didn't have it, but it's the curses that we deal with. Hurt people hurt people. And so now that I hurt my ex-wife so much, the very thing she said she would never do, that she couldn't see because she didn't like her. We know when you with the next woman, they kind of like compete a little bit. So that, that woman that you with currently trying to be better than a woman you used to be with. So I would never do you like that. I would never do like that. Now here I am. You're alienating me from my children. I haven't seen them for 4 years. My twins' birthday is in 2 days. The reason why I got TikTok is for them. My wife currently told me, babe, you should do a TikTok. Let me show you how God works.
What am I doing?
Now, I've been praying, asking God, please bless me to get the funds so I can go ahead and get the Lord, because I really don't want to go to court and fight for my children. And for some crazy women, some women really think that, well, if you really love your children, you would have fight for harder. Why I gotta go to court and fight for them? I shouldn't even have to do that. But if I don't fight hard for them, then I'm a deadbeat. Okay, bet. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if I react to the situation, I can hurt my children more than hurting them, and I can self-sabotage myself. That's why it's important to stay in control of your emotions at all times and respond to the best of manner in terms of the situation, because I'm not living for me no more. I'm living for my children. I had my time. Everything that I do right now is for them. Whether she like it or not, there's no excuse. I don't care what this rulers of the world say. You're not going to tell me what I'm doing to see. It's me and God against them. I mean, I'm on God's side. I'm not on the other side like Cat Williams said. I know where I'm at, so I don't care what nobody say. But at the same time, I'm not going to react out of emotion because that's my kids and this and this and this and that. No, I'm not about to play that game. Since you want to sit up in here and take my children and you want to put them against me and things like that, that's fine. I got to just pray to God and just make sure they go be all right. And they are all right because my daughter talked to me on TikTok. My two twins, they actually found me on TikTok, guys. They found me. And so all the little stuff that she's saying behind the scenes to try to keep me is not working because when your children find out, mothers, when you do this to them, when they find out when they get grown, it's going to be a problem. Do you really want your child to fall out with you at a certain time of their age because you kept them from their father out of your bitterness, vindictiveness? Because you mad he didn't go out the right and now he with another woman and she doing it good, but it was supposed to be you, like that movie with Tyler Perry. What's it called? Somebody help me out. What's the name of that dang old movie? It'll come to me. But my point I'm trying to make is we hurt our children by what we do. And because the women happen to be the first teacher and nurturer of the child, whatever you do in the fragile moments of their life, it's going to depend on what kind of human being you raised. And so the very men that you complain about today is the men that you have been raising for the last 30 to 40 years. That's why I don't even trip. But I'm not going to let my enemy trick me out my spot and blame you for your foolishness or ignorance because I know you was made into what you are, just like me too and the man too. We all got toxicity and dysfunction in the family. Ain't nobody, there's no one over and better than a group. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how big. You could be the LeBrons, the Jay-Z's of the world, the P. Diddy's. It don't matter to me. No one is bigger than the group. And when you think you're bigger than the group up under the man, that's why I ask every black man and black woman, all the money that you got right now, pull the money out, take the biggest bill that you got. When you take it out, I want you to look and study the face on the bill and tell me, do it look like you and your people? And that would tell you who's ruling the world and who's the God of this world. So don't get all puffy in your chest because you spending some money, other man's money. You ain't got your own land and your own flag and government yet, so you can't talk to me unless you're ready to talk about that. That's the conversation we need to be having, and that's why I love this brother right here, because he's actually setting up a rally huddle. We are under attack. And how are they attacking us? They're taking our women and using them as weapons against us. Unalive the black male and the prize is the female. The last trick of our enemy is going to be their women. But the trick was you thought the woman was going to be pale. No. She's white with black skin with a European mindset. Same thing if you did it with the man. But it just so happened that because they tried look what they tried to do to us for a long time over the years, because they took out all of our leaders with the COINTELPRO and all this. But look what they did. They couldn't get us with the CRACK. That didn't take they couldn't commit GENOI on that. They couldn't take us out with the 3-letter word, the AID. They couldn't take us out with that. They couldn't take us out with the orchins. I know a lot of feelings is about that, but they couldn't take us out because right now it's 2025. We still sitting at about 45 to 50 million. We're supposed to be at least 80 to 90 million strong. But we still at this moment. But look at all the things that they trying to do, and they still putting all these chemicals in the food. You can't even go. Everything you eat, it's dang that you gotta grow it to get the real 100%. But they did all this, and we still here. Look at you. You look so beautiful as a people. All we gotta do is just unite and form our hands like a big black fist, like Voltron, and we can knock them out with our unity. That's the only way out of this. We gotta go through the pain to get to the healing. There's no way out. And the pain is these uncomfortable conversations, but it's gotta be decorum, respect, and understanding. It's not about being right. There's no right or wrong on this panel when you come on this panel, at least in my eyes. Yes, some people say some stuff, but the way I'm starting to take it is like they just don't know no better. They ain't, because it be people on here. I'm 51. There's people on here that's 21 years old, and they talking to me like they been here all their life. Like, and I'm asking you, like, what can you teach me that I didn't already know from a brother that's at least no more than 5 or 10 years older than me or younger than me? Like, stop it now. If you can't got no common sense to listen to your elders, that lets me know where your mindset at, because you're not even trying to learn. It's going to take for you to bump your head for you to come right back to the source when we try to tell you. So why choose mother over marriage? Because it's an easy cop-out. It's an easy cop-out. You got tricked because you thought they favored you over us when they used you against us. Now they getting ready to pull the rug from up under you. All that child support that you was getting when you was buying your nails, your hair, buying them McDonald's all the time, buying them little fast food, so you can do the cheat code and get your little groove on. Stand in Section 8 like my auntie for 30 years and ain't saved no money or did nothing with it. Constantly on Medicaid and food stamps. Ain't trying to do nothing. Just living off the system all your life. Trump, stop that. I want you to do some research and let you see these new laws he didn't wrote. It's over and winter is coming. It's over. The jig is up. The jig is up. The fight was always fixed. But I'm that brother. I'm not going to say I told you so. I'm saying I understand, sister. I know you messed up. Now, next time, listen to brothers like us so we can help you. But in the meantime, we ain't got time for you to told you so. Let's get together and let's get to work. That's the kind of brothers that you're talking to right now. You're not talking to no brother that's sagging, don't have no respect for sisters and women. I got daughters, so I'm gonna have respect. I don't want no karma. I don't want none of these raggedy and ninjas disrespecting and doing my daughters like this. So I have to treat black women right, or women in general, no matter where she's from on the planet, to get that karma back. But we can't keep talking about the problem. At some point, we gonna have to deal with one another. Do we really have to wait for a catastrophe like none other, like we never seen before, for us to be frightened to come together? I hope it don't come to that. But the way it's looking, that's the way it's looking. So when we see brothers like brother, bigger player, when we see brothers like him, when he when I say it like this, when there's a brother in a position like him, and he's allowing you, because I don't know nobody even reading the room, but this brother's allowing you to grab on his coattail. It ain't a lot of brothers in his position that do this, or people, even women. Because I don't know the brother personally, but I'm looking at his actions. That's all I need to know. That's the level we got to get on learning how to come together, be in unison, being loving, being unified, treating with people. Somebody I heard on here say treating with dignity, respect, and higher standard. This brother set the standard. So when we hear sisters like Sister Trelly, and I said this before, when we hear her point, we got to back her up, because the only way we going to get the women back in control that needs to be in control is going to take sisters like her. And she's a young sister, so she already popular. She's before her time. And I already know she probably got problems with older women, because she's a powerful. I'm so blessed to know you, sister, because you are a sign and symbol of hope that all our young sisters out there ain't messed up in the mental state. Thank you, because I wish my daughters could meet you. and let some of that knowledge rub off. But I'm gonna get back on task. I just think in situations, no matter who platform is on, it just happened to be on our bigger player brothers platform. I think when it comes to critiquing women at certain moments, and I'm not trying to rule over brothers and try to say you shouldn't say this. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when we got sisters like her, 1 or 2 or 3 or more in that space, and we operate in that space, we should just let them talk that talk, because they the only ones that it hits different when they say it. That's all I'm saying. It just hit different. Because I can say the same thing Sister Trelly said. It's not going to sound the same, and it's not going to pop. When she said it, or another woman said it, in that beautiful energy and articulation, and in tune with the energy, oh man, it ain't nothing when a woman is a black woman on her revolutionary mode, bro. Because they always supported us. I'm all about uplifting us. Yes, we all toxic, but we got the power of chance and choice. We have a chance right now to use a beautiful opportunity to come together, but we can choose to do that or choose to keep doing what we're doing and just act like we just gonna vote for another ruler every 4 years for the rest of our life. That's what we're gonna do, and just come on bigger player podcast and just talk. Is that what we're doing? Or is we using these podcasts and these lives in our individual lives to get an understanding to say, hey, yeah, we got to come together because it's about something getting ready to happen, and we got to stay ready so we don't have to get ready in our land.
Okay, we want to appreciate you, brother. We want to let allow Rochelle and Ola to speak. We haven't heard from them. Go ahead, sisters. We can't.
Right?
We was waiting on the young sister at the bottom. She came off mic, but we can't hear her. You there?
Is it me, right?
The young lady under you, Rochelle, you there?
Okay.
Huh? Okay, you can go, Ola.
Yes, good afternoon. Seriously, I wish I have American accent right now so I can speak and everybody can understand what I want to say. You know, brother beside me, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. Seriously, I feel you so much. Um, it's so sad and it's very funny again at the same time. You know, me, I'm an immigrant and very, very funny. Somebody like me can see what is going on. It's so funny that many, not all, because I speak with people and how they cannot see what is going on is very funny because it happens to me before. Like trying to pin me or use me against my husband. And it's very, very funny. I keep saying something. BOK men are the most strongest being I've ever seen because I'm married to one myself and we've been together for it's gonna be 21 years now. And I met this man when I was 20 years old. So it's not like I'm a baby. So I just grew up, with him. And the thing is, they're very strong and very, very, smart people. But it's just so sad how the system was, how the men were pinned down for so long, because and it is very, very funny. If you pin something down, from the part of the world I come from, we speak. We speak much. When we speak, we use many proverbs to say something. Because when you look at it, two adults, it's very simple. Two adults see each other and they agree to be with each other. And then they have children. And then they cannot get to the round table to sort it out. Then the government had to get in between. That is like a child. It's so sad. And most of the time, when you look at this thing, they said, oh, he's the man. Oh, he's the man. Oh, but the thing is, many ladies don't understand that it is your duty. They don't know what the duty is. And I'm not blaming many of them. Again, you cannot give what you don't have. Because when many people speak, even some 50, I've seen 50 years old speak, I've seen 60 years old speak. Many are so naive. They don't even know what the job of a mother is. They don't know they're supposed to nurture. A man have to drop something to you. Your job as a lady is to multiply that thing. That is what you are there for. So you see, and then they keep saying, because think about it, and it's not making no sense to me. I have 2 degrees myself. So having a degree does not mean you have to come with disrespect. When you hear behind any successful man, there is a woman. What do you think that is? It's not a woman that is having a child alone. It's not a woman that is requesting. You request for so much. You want a protector, a provider. Think about it. And then you think that man is not going to require something. Make it make sense. If God that creates you, whatever, me, I don't believe in, I'm a spiritualist. So, but any God that you guys believe in, said request for you to do something in order for you to get something. Think about it. Do you think that man don't deserve to get something from you? And this person is not Jesus Christ. So I don't because sometimes when this sounds I have to start asking, does this sound, because it sounds like a mad person to me. It's only a mad person that can sound like that. You want a protector, a provider, you want this man to buy Gucci, buy Balenciaga, buy this, buy that. And you don't think this man, one thing, be submissive. And you are not smart. Because many people keep saying, you're from Africa. There is law, there is common sense. I think this is the common sense. It has nothing to do with, you're from Africa. It has nothing to do with. I learned a lot of things from here that is good. At the same time, you have to just use your logic. There are some people, they don't even have a father, because some people will put it and say, but I don't have a mother. There is a lot of things I learn on my own. It's called personal development. The more you grow, the wiser you be. So it has nothing to do with your beauty. It has something to do with your wisdom, your brain, when you cannot continue to do the same thing and expect different results. You have to change something. There is a time in our life, you just have to sit down and pause and ponder on your life. What direction am I going? Anybody that don't know what they want in life, everything they give to you will look like what you want. Life must have a meaning to you. You must have something that you want in life. Because you have to ask yourself, what are you in this planet to do? As a woman, as a man, what am I here? I'm here. What am I? You are not just here to just this. There is more to life. So if you're required you want this man to, and they ask many times, I've been on a dating site, what do you want? A man that is making 6 figures. And I ask, if you want a man that is making 6 figures, if you think it's that easy, how much have you made on your own? And I keep telling men too, don't mess yourself up. If a lady is coming with this demand, ask question. A lady must have a personal development. You must have something. If you don't go to school, you must have something. You cannot just come empty-handed to the party. You must have something you want to contribute, because you're creating an empire right here. I don't see, even in Africa that I'm coming from, the women work. My mother is 82. I've never seen none. My father married 4 wives. We are 34. And you want to talk about trauma, I see it all. But how did I choose? Once beaten, twice shy. Experience is the best teacher. My father cannot do the same thing. And I said, because he's just looking for excuses. I've seen the old trauma. The trauma. My 34 children. And my father never allowed my father is a very disciplinarian person. You don't mess up. In Africa, they discipline children. Like beating, serious beating. So you see, you want to talk about trauma, I have it all. Abuse, I have it all. But why did I choose a different direction? Because I see it growing up and I learn from it. So you have to stop waiting for the train that is going to get you to the destination. It's high time you find your own bus stop and draw. Because if you're waiting for a messiah, a ship that is coming to rescue you, hell no, nobody's coming to rescue you. You will continue to live from worse. And that's the reality of life. This life is not fair. Me growing up, When we fall down and somebody is there, as from 5 years, somebody want to lift us up, my father will say, no, don't carry her. Let her get up by herself. So you know that life is not fair. I'm not going to be there. I learn in a very hard way. When you fall down, nobody's going to lift you. Oh, my baby, no. There's nothing. Get up. They will tell you to get up. And I'm like, why do you love my new? My father is going to tell you, because nobody is going to be there to always lift you up. You must know that when you fall, you rise up again. Don't wait for nobody. So think about it. My father don't have father. I mean, he never see his father, and his mother was not there. He trained himself. So he used to tell us, I train myself. If I train myself and I would like this, tell me all the old trauma you want. So don't use that as an excuse. People don't care about what you are going through. They want the results. That is what I grew up, and it's hard. And it's very hard, and I know. But the only thing we can do is look at each other. And when I see my husband, he has a lot of trauma. I have too. I work on myself. In Africa, don't forget, we don't believe in depression. We don't have a doctor to go and see for psychiatric, whatever. No. You have to get out of that bubble yourself. So you see where I'm coming from. So when I speak, I know what I'm talking about. I see my husband have a lot. So what I do is I see you. I look at him. I'm like, you can cry. I'm here because, you know, this thing that people believe, man up, man up. You're supposed to be a man. Man do cry. There's something going on in their body too. So I tell my husband, you can cry and I'm not going to use it against you. I've been through it. So I just see, as I see you. I hug him and I said, yes, let's deal with this together. And that is the way the community can move forward. Because if you look at what is going on, is all nonsense. I don't understand how people keep saying, oh, I have my degree, I'm independent. There's nothing about your degree. I'm a nurse. I have that degree. I'm still going to school, but I'm there to support my man to grow because we're creating an empire. You cannot do it by yourself. We rise by lifting order. So if you look at every woman, I've seen it, I've read it, check it out. Many of them, they rise by 95% of what a man has. Think about it. If that boy that you think is your man, is your son, don't do double standard. You don't want to say when it comes to your son, you change it. And then this man, because it's not your son, you want little thing that you can call. A woman must be agreeable. As a lady, you must be agreeable. A man don't need a smart lady. They need a woman that is agreeable and cooperative. When something happens, this person say, my darling, I made a mistake. Can we resolve this? As a woman, just calm down. Because let me tell you something. If you leave that man, he's a cheat, right? I'm not supporting infidelity. He's a cheat, and you leave that one. Don't be surprised. The one you will see outside is cheat, is a thief. In fact, he has all the whole bad habits. And then you leave that one. So see what is going on with you. Something is going on. The body, the mileage is going up, and the body is depreciating. What a man can do, a woman cannot do it. I've seen it. My father is 112. My mother is 82. So I have a lot of experience. A lot of experience. So what a man can do, a woman cannot do it. The way a man can, my father had me when he was 70 something. So you see, can you have a child at that time? Hell no. So respect yourself, respect your brain, respect your body, and look at your children. Because let me tell you, when two elephants fight, the grasses beneath it suffers it. The man and the woman are the two elephants, and the grasses beneath it are the children. Because if these two people are looking at each other and nobody wants to hold themselves accountable, then the pain both of you don't want to endure, that innocent soul is the one that is going through it. I work in maximum prison. I've seen it. Little children that are not supposed to be in prison. What is the 19 years old doing in prison? Where is the mother? After using this child as a bait to knock this man off, and then when you know this child has nothing, they will drop off and they are in the middle of nowhere. A 19 years old is still a baby from where I'm coming from. From where I'm coming from, your age has nothing to do with your maturity. Till you get it right, that is how we go. You are 18 years old. If you don't get it right, you are not living in your father's house. You are still there. So, but when they are 18 years old, They were oh, go and meet your father, but forget that you have deprived this man and a man, a woman. I have 3 boys. I have a 17 years old. I have 3 boys, and I'm just 40 something. So think about it. My child. How do you think I can actually, teach that guy to be a man? Think about it. He's taller than I do. Do you think I can undo him? No, you need a man figure to help that man, unless that guy find see mercy and see somebody to make him become a man on the street. And this is not Africa. Africa it takes a village. Your uncle, your aunt, everybody. But in America here, there is nothing like you take a village. If your family don't get it right for you, oh, the street is going to teach you the bad side. So please, we just have to help this man to grow the community. The community is depreciating. Look at it. Asia, even Africa, that are here, many of them are holding to their husband. So let's make it work. Let's make it work. And for the men, the younger one, see, let me tell you something. If you value your life, you value the trauma that's going to happen, I beg you, I'm begging you in the name of God, whatever you believe on, please and please, don't mess yourself up. See, beauty, as the older a man gets to, you look beyond beauty. You want peace. You want the attitude. A woman that will tell you the B word, the F word, one thing, she's all over the roof, and you think she's going to change. Hell no. Old habits don't die. She will never change. So, you know what? Don't disturb yourself. Just keep your lineage. Keep it inside of you. Let it be enjoying in the ball there. Don't drop it because I don't understand why you want to drop your seed on a soil that is not good. I don't understand that part too. We have to choose right. Vet, go to their house. My father would tell my brother and said, anytime you want to choose a lady, go to their house and go and see the mother. Go and see how the mother is. Once you see the mother, that's the daughter. Because she learned from that. If it's the mother that control the house, pick your shoe and run. Nothing will come out from that girl. So when you are choosing, vet very well to know who you are dropping your seed for, because the part of your DNA and that lady is going to become your child. So think twice, brother, too. So I learned a word is a word is enough for the wise. I hope you understand what I said. If I don't make, so I learned.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Go ahead, Charlie.
So first, I wanted to ask her what country she was from. I was trying to type it in the comments, but I think she was talking. But she is so right about Africa. My husband is Senegalese, and my entire perspective of life changed when I went to Senegal. I stayed for 30 days, and the way the culture is there, like what she just stated about it takes a village. Like everyone raises the child. It's not these are my kids. Don't tell my kid nothing. It's not that. If your child is doing wrong, it can be someone's sister in the street that will grab that child and roughen them up. Like, and the women there, like they respect the men. They respect the men. They are agreeable, like she said. But yes, I just wanted to say that, and I also just wanted to say thank you all. I do have to drop. I have to go to the grocery store and cook dinner. But I appreciate you all, and hope y'all enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you for pulling up to us too.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Okay, have a good one. Let's see. Bateman, I don't think they had a chance to speak. I'm sorry. You want to speak?
Hi, how you doing? I read the topic, why choose motherhood over marriage? And I was relatable to the conversation. Um, First of all, marriage is a covenant. And you're supposed to get married before you do anything, right? So I don't understand not being able to wait or abstain yourself until, you feel like you found someone that you're comfortable enough to explore life with. Um, but sometimes people find themselves in uncomfortable situations because maybe uh, we're not sitting on the couch anymore. We're being allowed to go and have time without supervision. And without that supervision, something might happen. Now, if you are already married before you do anything, the conversation of kids is a conversation. There's no accidents. There are conversations. There are situations that happen that occur, and those within the marriage will understand and know why those children are here. But when you break a vow within yourself, there's what they call the accidents or whatever that they're claiming they want y'all to abort and get rid of because you broke a covenant with yourself and now you got to go through all this, rebuilding yourself and not able to think and blaming the baby daddy. And if he's not doing what you want him to do, you're blaming him. Yes, I understand the village raised the child, but I didn't read that. I didn't read where God say your village is gonna raise your child and be responsible for him. He didn't tell me to honor the village. He told me to honor thy mother and thy father. And with that being said, a lot of people take away from the message because maybe they're not with their mother and father. And that's why I say I can relate. Um, Growing up, I had a dad, I had a mom. Unfortunately, they wasn't in the same household. So it drew attention. As a kid, going back and forth from both parents' home, you have this idea that you want your parents together, you know. So when they tell you their ideas of life, that they messed up, they didn't wait, and that I was the product of that, and that they love me anyway. And I accepted that. And so with that, I understood that they let me know they broke their own covenant. And because they did that, I was a product of it and I was here. And that even though they wasn't married and marriage had came up, they chose they would do better as just being friends and sharing their love with me together. Um, with that, I had a pact within myself that you know, I wasn't gonna have no kids unless I was married. Like, no kids for me, cause I was traumatized. My parents not together, and they trying to tell me, cause they didn't get a chance to get married, and now they, I'm the problem because of that. So I don't want to do nothing without getting married, cause I understood how the kid felt. I was that kid. So going to school, watching kids, want to play house intimidated me because I didn't understand where they were getting this idea that certain things were okay. And in talking to certain kids, I realized a lot of kids wasn't in safe environments. And when I say safe environments, a dad that says, "You're not going to touch my daughter because her value to me is more than anything unless you want to marry her and expand my empire." But that was, from an understanding. So when you don't have that same understanding and you get caught up, now you want to know how to control your empire. You have these kids, there's things going on, and there's a unit. The unit is the husband and the wife, because that's how kids get here, through a man and a woman. Like Kareem said, um, children need both parts to understand life. I'm thankful because I've seen kids that had both parents in the house married and still don't understand the word of God. Um, there's a mixed message with a lot of us not understanding that marriage is forever. It's not temporary. It's not, oh, I can love you today and then forget about you tomorrow. If it was that simple, we wouldn't have all these rules in life. We wouldn't have these ideas of what the best way for us to function. And I was telling someone the other day, I say, yeah, they put us in school to start giving us this idea of our own ideas, which that's okay. But while you're exploring your own ideas and you're realizing that some of your ideas, if they don't align with the plan, they're not going to go through because there already is a plan. There already is a design. There's already an order. So you can't go and disrupt the order. And somehow we've been told we can go disrupt the order. And when you disrupt the order, it caused, the little confusion, the little chaos. But there was already, and my thing is that we like order. As a kid, when your mom says, I want the house clean by the time I get home. If you don't want to suffer the consequences, you're going to do what you're supposed to do to make sure that house is clean. And I don't know if being a mother is a bad thing, because if you're a wife, because I can't just say if you accidentally slip, you children. That's the idea of a woman being a helpmate, so a man can procreate. It's his job to find a wife. I kept trying to find in the Bible where I could go and find my own spouse and make them my perfect husband. And unfortunately, I didn't read that. What I came across was the only way to be a wife was to submit to your husband. Uh, in either order way that went. Um, if you basically was supposed to wait till you're married. So if you're not married, there is no confusion. But there has been things that has been designed against us so that we wouldn't understand the order and complain about it. Here, women will get pregnant, uh, and then now all of a sudden the conversation is when we're going to get married, when we're going to get married. But there was not that conversation before we decided to cross certain lines. So now you're confusing the dude because he thought everything that we were doing was okay. But now you're putting stimulations on what we can do. And I'm gonna tell you an interesting thing, that when my dad was explaining some things to me, he was like, one thing about it is you want to find a wife, but you're told to wait till marriage. And no one tells you what to do when you're with someone that you really want to be with and share your time with. You enjoy sharing your time with. And no one wants to be rejected. And when you take those steps, you automatically know there's no more forever. Like you screwed up, you messed up. And in a man's mind, yeah, he wants to correct it, but he wants to correct it with someone who wants to be with him. 9 times out of 10, if a woman slipped up, it was with a man that I'm pretty sure she had to be enough comfortable with to slip up with. So why start making certain stipulations on feelings? Because he's already broken once he broke his vow with himself, with you. And we as women don't understand that. We don't understand that we were meant to be here forever. And even though in our minds we think of a forever love, I always ask myself, why do women want children if they don't plan to be here forever? Like, what is the purpose of that? So if you're not doing something because you enjoy doing it, that's what marriage is for, to do something that you love doing, then you're supposed to be here to procreate. And a lot of women don't understand that cycle of life. So It's been a blessing, and I enjoyed my time. And thank you so much.
Wow. Powerful. Powerful. What you take away from it, please follow, subscribe, and comment, and let us know how you feel and interact with us. And if you want to pull up, you can pull up. If you got some things you want to talk about, come on, talk about it. We talking about it all. We giving insight, we learning, we having balance, we disagreeing, we arguing, but it's all peaceful, it's all love at the end of the day, because what we want to do is empower each other, learn from each other, and rise to the occasion. Okay? Pay attention. See, one thing a man like, we visual creatures. A lot of people want to push that to the side. We visual, we like what we like, and we love a beautiful queen, period. You must understand that. You got to pay attention to that, okay? You have to pay attention to that. And if you pay attention to that, you will have a certain level of enlightenment that will add value to your life. Is that facts or fiction?
Like it was just men. Allow these men to teach these boys. I want to say something that I hadn't said nowhere else. But isn't it amazing that everybody on this planet has an opinion about what a black man should be and do but black men? I'm talking about every other subsection of people on this planet, whether it's gender, whether it's race, everybody. And nobody has to deal with being a black man more than a black man does. So for me to be here with other black men and us be in a room, and we may disagree, but let's disagree in these rooms and then agree to disagree and walk out peacefully standing together.
Is that facts or fiction? Chump.
Pastors lying to the public, they ain't got the truth in them. Lights out, gas off, bootless, this city pimping. Blocks on fire cause the homeowners broke as fuck. Taxes up, water bill higher than a Civic truck. It's a bigger play, a bigger play. Death before dishonor is the only way. Yeah, I tried to follow but they led astray. Sorry but not sorry, can't trust what they say. It's a bigger play, a bigger play. Death before dishonor